Hello there, greetings from Colombo everybody. I'm Hassan Shazuli on News First. This is lunchtime news coming to you live and direct from News First studios here in Colombo. Let's start off with a look at your headlines this afternoon.
Gazette issued to revise subjects and functions of several ministries. SANDAHIRU SEYA vested with the Mahasangha. Ship carrying fuel to reach Colombo. Rains to recede tomorrow. Warning against fishing in northern waters.
And we start off here at home. Now, thousands of Buddhist devotees mark the Il Full Moon Poya Day today. The day marks the beginning of many significant events in Buddhist history. It was on an Il Full Moon Poya Day that the first Buddhist missionary exercise was carried out by 60 Arahat. 3 Jatala brothers also entered the Buddhist order on a day such as today. The passing away of one of Lord Buddha's chief disciples, Sariputta, and the announcement of the future Buddhahood of Maitreya Bodhisattva also occurred on Il Full Moon Poya Day. This is the last Poya of the rainy season. With the end of the Il Poya, the Katina Puja also comes to an end. Religious activities and observances were held at several temples across the country, adhering to the health guidelines in place. Religious activities and observances were held at the Ruwanwali Seya in Anuradhapura, at the Galviharaya in Polonnaruwa, and at the Temple of the Tooth in Kandy. Religious observances were also conducted at the temple trees in Colombo under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Meanwhile, the 12th edition of the Sirisadhamsata Dhamma sermon was held at the ancient Tantrimalaya Rajamahaviharya. The newly constructed shrine at the premises of the ancient Tantrimalaya Rajamahaviharya was handed over to the Mahasangha yesterday. The handing over ceremony was held under the patronage of the opposition leader Sajid Premadasa. Meanwhile, the 2329th Katina Puja at the ancient Mihinthalaya Rajamahaviharya was held last night. This ceremony at the Mihinthalaya Rajamahaviharya is regarded as the first and the oldest Katina Puja ceremony in Sri Lanka. The Katina Puja was organized with devotional contributions made by the Eslon Company, a subsidiary of the Capital Maharaja Group. Religious activities which are organized by the Capital Maharaja Group at the Shakya Malaka in Braybrook Place were held today as well. The event was sponsored by the staff members of Stein Studios, which is a subsidiary of the Capital Maharaja Group. On a related note, the ceremony to dedicate the SANDAHIRU SEYA stupa in Anuradhapura to the Buddha Sasana is being held today. The event is being held with the participation of the Mahasangha.
The ceremony to dedicate the SANDAHIRU SEYA to the Buddha Sasana is expected to begin today under the auspices of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The construction of this stupa was planned in 2010 as a tribute to the war heroes who sacrificed their lives during the 3-decade-long war in Sri Lanka. The foundation stone of the SANDAHIRU SEYA was laid on the 22nd of November 2010. Initially, it was decided to use the name Ranaviru Seya, but later it was renamed as SANDAHIRU SEYA under the concept that the moon will remain as long as the sun lasts. At the auspicious time of 9:53 a.m. on the 8th of November, the Chudamanikya was placed on the SANDAHIRU SEYA amidst the Satpirit chanting of the Mahasangha. The height of the SANDAHIRU SEYA with the Chudamanikya is 282 feet and 6 inches. The Seya is 255 feet in diameter and 801 feet in circumference. The armed forces and the civil defense force provided the manpower for the construction of the stupa with the assistance of the Department of Archaeology and the Sri Lanka Corporation of Engineers. The Seya was built based on Sri Lankan engineering technology.
In rest of the day's stories, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa celebrated his birthday today. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has wished Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa for his birthday in a Facebook post today. He said that Mahinda Rajapaksa has left an indelible mark on Sri Lankan politics. The Facebook post reads, "To us who have grown up with you since childhood, your humane demeanour is no surprise. It is no exaggeration to say that the great respect of thousands of people was due to your philanthropy. I am also fortunate to have been mentored by a man with such greatness. Your Excellency, the warrior, my dear brother who left an indelible mark on Sri Lankan politics. I am wishing you a happy birthday."
Marking the occasion of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa's birthday, Hindu devotees engaged in religious activities at the new Kadiresan Pillayar Kovil in Colombo 4. Muslims engaged in religious activities at the Mohideen Jumma Masjid to celebrate the Prime Minister's birthday.
Born on the 18th of November 1945, Mahinda Rajapaksa is an old boy of Richmond College Galle and Thurston College Colombo. Being a lawyer, he was appointed as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party's organizer for the Beliath electorate in 1968. In 1970, Mahinda Rajapaksa was elected to Parliament, becoming the youngest to do so at that time. He was appointed as opposition leader on the 6th of February 2002. Mahinda Rajapaksa, who played a key role in ending terrorism in Sri Lanka, was elected as president for the second time in the year 2010. He vacated his position in 2015 by respecting the mandate of the people. After moving to Madamulana, Mahinda Rajapaksa returned to active politics through the Mahinda Sulanga political project in Nugegoda. This resulted in forming the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, which won elections at local authorities and acted as a strong opposition in parliament. The party also produced a prime minister during the 52-day government. Mahinda Rajapaksa's strong return to politics has seen him become a strong figure in the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. He took oaths as prime minister under the new government. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, we wish you a very happy birthday.
Now, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has issued a gazette amending the duties and functions of several ministries. The duties have been amended under the Presidential Secretariat's National Priority Programme. The gazette has amended the duties of several ministries, including the Foreign Ministry and the State Ministry of Skills Development, Vocational Education, Research and Innovation. Moving on to the rest of the day's stories, a ship carrying 30,000 metric tons of petrol is to arrive in Colombo today. Meanwhile, a ship carrying 40,000 metric tons of diesel is to arrive in the country tomorrow. Minister of Ports and Shipping, Rohita Begunawardena, expressed the following views on this matter.
A ship carrying 40,500 metric tons of diesel arrived in the country on the 16th. The consignment is being unloaded at the moment. 39,000 metric tons of octane 92 will arrive in the country today. A ship carrying 40,000 metric tons of diesel will arrive in the country tomorrow. The petrol and diesel required will continue to be imported. They claim that we will face a fuel shortage. But look at the ships arriving in the country. Legal actions must be taken against those who created such false rumors. There is no fuel shortage.
තෙල්පිරි පාදුව විවෘත කරනු බොරතෙල් ගෙනෙනු කියලා තෙල් සංස්ථාවේ වෘත්තීය සමිති ඊයේ උද්ඝෝෂණයක යෙදිලා ඉන්නවා මම දැක්කා.
Yesterday I saw that the trade unions were engaged in a trade union action demanding for the Sapugaskanda oil refinery to be reopened and to bring down crude oil. We halted the importation of crude oil to preserve the foreign reserves in the country. If I previously knew that crude oil could be imported by preserving foreign reserves, I would have joined the protest. What I want is to start importing crude oil and resume work at the oil refinery. The bitter truth that the trade unions don't accept is that protests don't earn us dollars. Trade unions must think ahead of their actions. As the Minister of Energy, I have no ability to earn dollars. If I am to import crude oil, the Treasury must grant me dollars. Even I can protest in front of the Treasury demanding for dollars. But instead, what we did is to come up with methods through which the Treasury can earn dollars.
භාණ්ඩාගාරයට ඩොලර් උපය ගන්න විකල්ප ක්‍රමවේද සකසා ගන්න උදව් කිරීම පමණයි.
Karu Jayasuriya is the chairman of the National Movement for a Just Society. He says the government hasn't solved the problems of the people. This is despite gaining more power through the 20th Amendment and even receiving a two-thirds majority in Parliament.
The lapses in the government's administration has caused prices of essential items to skyrocket while causing inconveniences for the people. Due to this, the people are wasting hours in queues to buy items. Although they received power through the 20th Amendment and a two-thirds majority, they were unable to solve these issues. What is the government doing about the fertilizer issue? The budget didn't mention anything about compensating farmers. We are disappointed because the government promised to provide some sort of relief to the people. Even the method in which they are expected to pay compensation has not been announced.
Let's get back to some news here at home. Now, the extreme weather has wreaked havoc in many parts of the country over the last few days. But now the Met Department says rains will reduce in the country from tomorrow.
The Met Department's Deputy Director of Forecasts, Meryl Mendes, says more than 100 millimeters of rainfall is expected in some parts of the northern province today. The low-pressure area located to the northeast of Sri Lanka is likely to move westwards and reach India. We are expecting the prevailing showery condition to reduce from tomorrow as well. The National Building Research Organization's senior scientist Dr. SANDAHIRU says the landslide warning issued for several areas in 8 districts has been extended due to heavy rains. The Met Department has warned fishermen to refrain from fishing in the North Seas.
Now, the human-elephant conflict is an issue that has been affecting many people, mostly in rural Sri Lanka, for several years. While authorities continue to delay a solution from the problem, people in Puthuville are the latest victims of this conflict.
People of the Rotte village in Puthuville are badly affected as a herd of elephants encroached into their area yesterday. The elephants from Rotte Reserve had damaged a house and other properties in the village. Locals said they have been affected by this problem on multiple occasions. Wildlife officers have taken steps to drive away the elephants. Wild elephants have encroached into Nagampaha in Anuradhapura for the second consecutive day. Locals said elephants have destroyed coconut and chili cultivations. Damages have also been caused to paddy cultivations. Villagers say wild elephants from the Pallekale Reserve encroached into their village at night. An electric fence installed to keep away elephants has lost its purpose.
With those developments coming in from rural Sri Lanka, education is one of the most discussed topics in the country at present. Now, during a function held at the Sri Pali campus in Horana, various views have been expressed regarding the allocation of funds for education and educational policies under the 2022 budget.
The new administration building of the Horana Sri Pali campus was opened under the patronage of Education Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Secretary to the Education Ministry, Professor Kapila Pereira and Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Chairman of the University Grants Commission, were among the invitees.
අද 7.6% මේ අයවැය වෙන් කරලා තියෙනවා මේ අයවැය මුළු සමස්තයෙන් 7.6% වෙන් කරලා තියෙන අධ්‍යාපනයේ
7.6% of our entire budget for the next year is reserved for education. You should ask your juniors about that. Don't ask them pointless questions and torture your juniors through ragging. It is mentioned in the Vistas of Prosperity that ragging must be completely removed from the Sri Lankan university system.
සෞභාග්‍ය දැක්මේ සටහන් වෙලා තියෙනවා අපේ රටේ ඕනෙම රැකියාවක් කරනකොට යම් කිසි වෘත්තියකට යනකොට සුදුසුකමක් ඉල්ලනවා.
In our country, whenever you are going for a job, they ask for qualifications. The only place which does not consider any educational qualifications is the highest institution of the country, the Parliament. Is this correct? If the students leaving these universities are robots and they lack humanity, what is the point? The happiness your parents had and in your early days is non-existent now. What has happened now? We are constructing buildings and providing education, but what is the point? Previously, it was mentioned that 7.6% of the budget was reserved for education. Most of it is spent on constructions. Today, we are teaching our students to protect the environment. But do the elders protect the environment? How many in Parliament fell trees and sell them? If we launch a philosophical revolution, uniting all schools, the hum schools, preschools, universities, and create an efficient education system, we can save this country.
Right, let's take a look at some sports news. Now, journalist Sensei Judin Sindhujan has been appointed as the media secretary of the Sri Lanka Karate Do Federation. The Sri Lanka Karate Do Federation says he has been appointed to the post for a period of 1 year. The certificate of appointment was presented by the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Karate Do Federation, Shihan B.M. Kirtikumara. And with that, we wrap this edition of Lunchtime News. Thanks for stopping by. News First will continue to keep you updated with the latest stories. That's on our website, www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Hassan Shazuli. I'll see you again at 1:55 with more latest stories. Bye for now.